My dear friends, stop scrolling for just a moment and ask yourself this shocking question. Why do 95% of people never succeed in life, while only a tiny few live the extraordinary life of their dreams? You've seen it everywhere. People working hard year after year, chasing goals, reading books, attending seminars, yet ending up stuck in the same place. Average income, average health, average relationships, average fulfillment. They are not lazy, they are not stupid. Many of them are talented and educated, but something invisible, something brutal, quietly sabotages their future every single day. Hey, what's up? 2.6 Fast Write a speech on this title, Why 95% People Never Succeed in Life, or Brutal Truth. Keywords: success mindset, failure reason, motivational speech, self-growth, in Dr. David Yonggi Cho style, but did not mention him without heading me. Dear friends, listen to me today as I share with you a brutal truth that can change your life forever. Why do 95% of people never succeed in life? It's not because God didn't create them for greatness. Oh no, He made every one of you with tremendous potential, loaded with dreams and abilities that can shake the world. But most people fail because they live only in the three dimensions of this natural world: what they see, what they feel, and what they touch. They never step into the fourth dimension, the spiritual realm, where faith, vision, and the power of God operate to create miracles. Let me tell you plainly, the number one reason people fail is a lack of vision and dreams. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Without a clear, burning picture in your heart of where you are going, you will wander aimlessly, drifting from one thing to another, never arriving anywhere. Most people have no specific goal. They say, I want to be happy, or I want more money, but that's vague. That's not a vision. You must have a clear-cut goal. See it vividly in your mind, like a movie playing over and over. Visualize your success. See yourself healthy, prosperous, fulfilling your calling. Dream big dreams. God gives young men visions and old men dreams, because through dreaming you incubate your future. The second brutal reason is negative thinking and negative speaking. Your tongue is the rudder of your life. Many people confess failure every day. I can't do it. It's too hard. I'll never make it. They speak doubt and fear, and that's exactly what they get: more failure. Change your mindset. Renew your thinking with the Word of God. Speak faith. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Positive confession brings possession. When you think success and speak success, you release the creative power of God into your circumstances. Third, people fail because they lack faith and persistence. Faith is not just believing, it's acting on what you believe. Most give up too soon. When storms come, when delays happen, they quit. But success comes to those who persist through failure. Remember, every great person you admire failed many times before they succeeded. But they had faith that refused to quit. Incubate your faith like a hen incubates eggs. Have a burning desire. Pray until you have assurance in your heart. Visualize the answer and speak it forth until it hatches in reality. Another reason is fear. Fear of failure, fear of what others think, fear of risk. Fear paralyzes you, keeps you in mediocrity. But God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Choose faith over fear every time. And finally, many never grow because they don't take responsibility for self-growth. They blame others, blame circumstances, blame the economy. But success demands personal development, reading the Word, praying fervently, surrounding yourself with positive people, learning new skills. My friends, this is the brutal truth. 95% fail because they live small, think small, speak small, and dream small. But you don't have to be one of them. Today, decide to enter the fourth dimension. Get a clear vision from God. Dream His dreams for your life. Think positively, speak faith, persist with burning desire, and watch God bring supernatural success. You were born for greatness. Don't settle for average. Rise up, incubate your future through faith and vision, and succeed beyond your wildest imagination. God is with you. Go forward and conquer. Amen. 3.5's Fast 45 sources me. Dear friends, let us dive deeply into his first brutal truth, why most people never succeed in life. The vast majority fail because they have no clear vision or dream. They live day by day without a definite burning picture in their heart of what they are called to become and achieve. They wake up, go through the motions, react to whatever life throws at them, and at the end of years, they look back and wonder where all the time went. Nothing extraordinary ever happens because nothing extraordinary was ever clearly seen and pursued. Think about it. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, your mind is filled with something. For most people, it is filled with worries about bills, problems at work, what others think of them, or vague wishes like I hope things get better. But vague hopes are not vision. Vague wishes are not dreams. They are smoke that disappears the moment pressure comes. A true vision is specific, vivid, and so real in your inner world that it pulls you forward even when the outer world pushes against you. It is like a fire burning inside that refuses to go out. The scriptures declare it plainly, where there is no vision, the people perish. They cast off restraint. They wander without direction. They scatter their energy in 1,000 different directions and accomplish nothing of lasting value. You see it everywhere. People start one thing today, jump to another tomorrow, chase the latest trend, follow every shiny opportunity that appears, but nothing ever comes to full fruit because here was never a clear target painted on the wall of their heart. A clear vision begins with a definite goal. Not I want to be rich someday. That is too foggy. Not I want to be happy. Happiness follows obedience to vision. It is not the vision itself. A definite goal sounds more like this. I see myself owning a thriving business that employs 50 people and blesses my community within the next 7 years. Or I see myself standing on platforms, speaking life and hope into thousands, with books I have written touching lives around the world. Or I see my family living debt-free in a home we own, with our children educated and walking strongly in faith. These are clear pictures. You can see the colors, hear the sounds, feel the emotions of that future reality right now in your spirit. When you have such a picture, everything in your life begins to align with it. Your choices become sharper. You say no to good things that do not move you toward your vision. You say yes to hard things that stretch you because you know they are steps on the path. Time that used to be wasted scrolling endlessly or complaining with friends is now invested in learning, practicing, building. The vision acts like a magnet, drawing the right people, the right opportunities, the right resources toward you. But most people never take the time to develop this kind of vision. They are too busy surviving. They are too busy putting out daily fires. They allow the urgent to crowd out the important. I let the noise of the world drown out the quiet voice of destiny speaking in their hearts. And so year after year passes, and the great dreams God planted in them when they were young slowly die, buried under layers of disappointment, distraction, and doubt. Let me tell you something powerful. Every great achievement in history began as a clear picture in someone's mind, long before it appeared in the physical world. The skyscrapers you see in cities were first perfectly formed in an architect's imagination. The businesses that employ thousands started as a burning idea in one person's heart while others laughed. The ministries that touch millions began with one person alone in prayer, seeing in the Spirit what others could not yet see with natural eyes. You must learn to live in this realm of vivid imagination guided by faith. Every day, take time to close your eyes and see your future. Play the movie of your success over and over in your mind. See the details. See yourself walking across the stage receiving the award. See the faces of people whose lives are changed because of what you built. See the bank account reflecting the fruit of your labor. See your family proud and secure. Make it so real that your emotions respond as if it is already happening. Joy rises, peace comes, strength flows, because when the picture is clear and burning, faith has something to lay hold of. Do not allow anyone to steal your dream with small thinking. People around you may not see what you see. That is normal. Most cannot see beyond their present circumstances. They will tell you to be realistic, to settle, to play it safe, but realistic thinking never produced anything extraordinary. Realistic thinking keeps you bound to what already exists. Vision thinking calls into being things that do not yet exist. It speaks to mountains and commands them to move. Begin today to write down your vision in detail. Make it plain. Describe it as if you are already living it. Read it every morning and every night. Speak it out loud. Let it saturate your thinking until it becomes more real to you than your present challenges. When obstacles come, and they will come, the clarity of your vision will keep you steady. You will not be moved by temporary setbacks because you know exactly where you are going. Remember, God Himself is a God of vision. He called things that were not as though they were. He saw the end from the beginning, and He has placed that same creative ability inside you through His Spirit. When you dare to dream His dreams, when you allow Him to paint big pictures on the canvas of your heart, nothing shall be impossible to you. So refuse to live like the 95% who drift through life without direction. Refuse to let your days slip away without a target. Rise up and claim the power of clear, definite, faith-filled vision. See it, believe it, pursue it with all your heart, and watch as the invisible becomes visible, the impossible becomes reality, and your life becomes a testimony of the greatness God always intended for you. My dear friends, let us now turn to this second brutal reason why so many people, 95% of them, never reach the success that God has prepared for them. Negative thinking and negative speaking create failure. Day after day, most people poison their own future with the thoughts they allow to live in their minds and the words they release from their mouths. They do not realize that their inner world is constantly shaping their outer world. What they think habitually becomes what they believe deeply, and what they believe deeply becomes what they speak continually, and what they speak continually becomes the very atmosphere in which they live and move and have their being. Your mind is the control center of your life. It is the place where decisions are formed, where emotions are stirred, where faith or fear takes root. Yet most people treat their minds like an open playground where any thought can come and go as it pleases. They allow worry, doubt, criticism, bitterness, envy, and self-pity to camp there day and night. They replay old failures, imagine future disasters, and compare themselves endlessly with others. These thoughts are not harmless. They are seeds, and every seed produces after its own kind. When negative thoughts are allowed to stay, they grow strong roots and bear bitter fruit. A person thinks, "I never get any breaks," and soon believes it. Then he speaks it, "Nothing ever works out for me." And because he has spoken it, he begins to act in agreement with it. Half-hearted effort, quick discouragement, missed opportunities. The negative cycle becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The very thing he feared and confessed comes upon him, not because God willed it, but because He created the conditions for it with His own mind and mouth. Your tongue is small, but it is powerful beyond measure. It is like the rudder of a great ship. Though the rudder is tiny compared to the whole vessel, it determines the direction the entire ship will go. In the same way, your words steer the course of your life. When you speak words of doubt, limitation, and defeat, you turn your life toward more doubt, more limitation, and more defeat. But when you speak words of faith, possibility, and victory, you turn your life toward open doors, divine favor, and supernatural breakthrough. Most people speak failure every single day without realizing it. They wake up and say, "I'm so tired, I dread going to work today." They complain about the weather, the traffic, the economy, their spouse, their children, their boss. They say things like, "I can't afford that, it's too hard, I'm not smart enough, people like me don't get ahead." Every one of those statements is a confession of unbelief. Every one of those statements releases creative power, but in the wrong direction. They are calling into existence the very things they do not want. You must understand this spiritual principle, death and life. Faith are in the power of the tongue. What you speak does not merely describe your reality, it helps to create your reality. When you continually speak lack, you remain in lack. When you continually speak sickness, you remain under sickness. When you continually speak failure, you remain in failure. Your words are containers of power. They carry either faith or fear, blessing or cursing, life or death. But praise God, the opposite is also true. When you change your thinking and change your speaking, you change your future. Begin to think on purpose. Guard your mind like a fortress. Refuse to entertain thoughts that contradict the promises of God. When a negative thought comes knocking, do not open the door. Cast it down immediately. Replace it with truth. Think about what is pure, lovely, honorable, excellent, worthy of praise. Fill your mind with the word until it overflows into your thinking. Then let that renewed mind produce renewed words. Start speaking faith every day. Speak what God says about you, not what circumstances say. Speak what His word declares, not what your feelings declare. Say, "I am blessed and highly favored." Say, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." Say, "Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world." Say, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Say, "This is my season of breakthrough, my season of increase, my season of divine acceleration." At first, it may feel strange. Your circumstances may scream the opposite. Your old habits will try to pull you back into complaining and doubting, but keep speaking faith anyway. Speak it when you wake up. Speak it in the car. Speak it at work. Speak it before you sleep. Make positive confession a lifestyle. Your words will begin to shift the spiritual atmosphere around you. Faith will rise. Expectation will grow. Opportunities will appear that you never saw before. Doors will open that were once closed. People will be drawn to you who can help you forward. Remember, every time you speak faith, you are releasing the creative power of God into your situation. You are partnering with heaven to bring forth the invisible into the visible. You are calling those things that be not as though they were. Your positive confession becomes the bridge between promise and possession. Do not underestimate the power of small, consistent words. A farmer does not plant one seed and expect an immediate harvest. He plants day after day, season after season. In the same way, plant seeds of faith with your words every single day. Water them with belief. Guard them from doubt. And in due season you will reap if you do not faint. Many people give up too soon. They speak faith for a few days or weeks. Then when nothing changes immediately, they go back to negative talking. But faith requires persistence. Keep your mind renewed. Keep your mouth filled with life. Refuse to speak anything that can't. Radix your desired future. Even when the storm is raging, declare, "Peace, be still." Even when the bank account is low, declare, "My God supplies all my needs according to His riches in glory." Even when the doctor's report is bad, declare, "By His stripes I am healed." This is how winners think and speak, This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. They take authority over their thought life and their speech. They refuse to allow negativity to rule them. They choose faith-filled thinking and faith-filled speaking no matter what. And as they do, they watch God move mountains, open rivers in deserts, and turn impossible situations into testimonies of His goodness. So examine your thoughts today. Examine your words today. Are they building your future or destroying it? Are they aligning with God's promises or agreeing with the enemy's lies? Make the decision right now to renew your mind and transform your tongue. Let every thought be brought captive to the obedience of Christ. Let every word be seasoned with grace and power. Speak only what you want to see manifest. Think only what produces life and victory. As you do this faithfully, day by day, you will begin to see the shift. The atmosphere around you will change. Your confidence will grow. Your results will multiply. The negative cycle will be broken, and a new cycle of blessing and success will take its place. Your thinking and your speaking will become the very instruments God uses to lift you into the abundant life He has always planned for you. My dear friends, let us now confront this third brutal truth head-on. Success belongs only to those who persist with faith and refuse to quit. While the masses start with enthusiasm, most abandon their dreams at the first sign of resistance. They encounter a setback, experience delay, face criticism, or feel the weight of difficulty, and they pull back. They surrender. They rationalize it as wisdom or timing or God's will, but the hard reality is that they lack the staying power that faith demands. Success is not reserved for the most talented, the most educated, or the most privileged. It is reserved for those who endure, who keep believing, who keep acting, who keep pressing forward long after others have stopped. Every person you admire, every story of greatness you celebrate is built on a foundation of persistence through repeated failure. The world sees only the final triumph, the packed stadiums, the thriving companies, the influential ministries, the financial freedom, but behind every one of those victories lies a trail of obstacles overcome, disappointments endured, and temptations to quit resisted. What separated the achievers from the 95% who remain average is not a lack of problems, it is a refusal to let problems have the final word. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is not a fleeting moment of inspiration. True biblical faith is a decision to act on God's promise regardless of circumstances, emotions, or evidence, and to continue acting until the promise becomes reality. Most people believe for a little while. They pray with excitement when the vision is fresh. They take bold steps at the beginning. But when the answer does not come quickly, when the door remains closed, when the mountain does not move at the first command, their faith weakens. They grow weary. They listen to the voices of doubt. They allow discouragement to settle in their hearts like a heavy fog. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, they stop expecting, stop praying, stop working toward the goal. Their faith dies not with a dramatic collapse, but with quiet resignation. But the winners are different. They understand that faith requires incubation. Just as a hen sits faithfully on her eggs day after day, through heat and cold, through storms and silence, never seeing the life inside, yet refusing to leave, so the person of faith incubates the promises of God. They keep the burning desire alive. They keep praying with intensity. They keep visualizing the fulfillment. They keep speaking words of victory. They keep taking the next step. Even when the step feels small and insignificant, they do not move off the promise because the promise has not yet moved into the natural realm. Persistence is the bridge between the promise given and the promise received. Delay is not denial. Opposition is not the end. Every great promise from God passes through a season of testing, a wilderness of waiting, a valley of pressure designed to develop chara. CTR, and deepen faith. Most people interpret the pressure as a sign to stop. Winners interpret it as a sign they are on the right path. Pressure means something valuable is being formed. Resistance means the enemy sees the potential of what you carry and is trying to abort it before it comes to birth. Look at any area of life. In business, the majority of new ventures face severe challenges in the first few years. Most owners become discouraged by cash flow problems, slow growth, competition, or unexpected expenses and close the doors. But those who succeed are the ones who adjust, learn, borrow if necessary, work longer hours, pray harder, and keep serving customers even when profits are invisible. In ministry, many are called, but few remain faithful through years of small beginnings, criticism from within and without, spiritual warfare, and financial lack. Yet the ones who touch nations are those who stayed in the secret place of prayer, kept preaching to the handful, kept believing for increase when nothing seemed to change. In personal development, most people start diets, exercise programs, study plans, or spiritual disciplines with great resolve. They feel motivated for weeks, maybe months, but when progress slows, when the scale does not move as quickly, when the schedule gets busy, when old habits pull strongly, they quit. The fit, educated, disciplined people you admire are not those who never felt like quitting. They are those who felt like quitting almost every day, but kept going anyway. Faith-filled persistence is fueled by several vital forces. First, a deep conviction that the goal is from God and therefore worth any price. When you know the vision is planted by heaven, you do not treat it casually. You guard it fiercely. You fight for it spiritually. Second, a daily renewal of the inner picture. Every morning you remind yourself why you started. You see the end result again in vivid detail. You feel the emotions of victory before victory appears. This keeps the fire burning. Third, continual communion with God through prayer and His Word. Prayer is not just asking, it is receiving strength to continue. The Word is not just information, it is nourishment that sustains faith over the long haul. Fourth, wise action taken consistently. Faith without corresponding action is dead. Persistent people do not wait for perfect conditions. They take the next step available to them today. They make the call. They write the page. They practice the skill. They save the money. They forgive the offense. They show up again. Small actions repeated over time produce massive results. But most people want massive results without the repetition of small actions. They despise the day of small things and therefore never see the day of great things. Fear is the greatest enemy of persistence. Fear of failure whispers, "Stop now before you embarrass yourself further." Fear of pain says, "This hurts too much. Find an easier path." Fear of wasted time says, "You've already invested so much and nothing has happened. Cut your losses." But faith answers every fear with the truth of God's faithfulness. Faith remembers past victories. Faith recalls promises that have already come to pass. Faith declares, "He who began a good work in me will carry it on to completion." Faith chooses to believe that the delay is preparing a greater glory. Learn to celebrate the process. Learn to find joy in the daily discipline. Learn to give thanks even in the waiting. When you focus only on the finish line, the journey feels endless and exhausting. But when you learn to enjoy the growth, the lessons, the deepening relationship with God, the small wins along the way, persistence becomes sustainable. The journey itself becomes rewarding. Surround yourself with people who strengthen your persistence. Avoid chronic complainers and quitters whose words drain your faith. Seek out those who have endured and overcome. Listen to their stories. Let their testimonies fuel your own determination. Iron sharpens iron. Faith is contagious when it is active and persevering. Finally, understand that quitting is a habit and persisting is also a habit. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen the muscle of endurance. Every time you overcome the temptation to give up, you make it easier to overcome the next one. But every time you quit, you train yourself to quit again more easily in the future. Choose today to build the habit of finishing. Start with small promises to yourself and keep them. Build a track record of faithfulness in little things, and God will entrust you with much. The 95% who never succeed are those who stopped too soon. They were often closer to breakthrough than they realized, but they could not see it because their eyes were on the storm instead of the promise. But you can be different. You can be the one who refuses to quit. You can be the one who outlasts every obstacle, every delay, every attack. You can be the one whose faith remains strong to the end. Keep believing, keep praying, keep working, keep expecting. The promise is coming. The breakthrough is nearer than when you first believed. Hold fast. Do not cast away your confidence. Great is your reward.